Live from New York, it's Sunday night. Hi again, everybody. I'm Pat O'Brien.
And I'm Nancy O'Dell, and it was celebrity gridlock in Manhattan last night for the 25th anniversary Saturday Night Live special. It looked like the Oscars. It felt like history in the making. And our Sean Robinson was front and center with the stars.
You got a warm reception tonight.
Yeah, well, I'm from New York.
Can you believe the reception you're getting?
No, I can't. It's very, very, very flattering.
Come on! I used to be on the show!
25 years of Saturday Night Live.
I mean, this is history.
It's amazing what money will buy.
Think of it as 25 years of laughter and 25 years worth of superstars all packed into one magical night.
This reunion of SNL cast members and former guests has so much star power, it's like New York's version of the Oscars.
From Catherine Zeta-Jones and her man Michael Douglas to DeVito and Seinfeld, from Sarah Michelle Gellar to Spacey and Sarandon. It's an endless stream of A-list stars, and it's my honor to greet them all upon arrival, where old friends catch up and new friends are made.
Look at all your fans out.
I'm scared to death. I just wanted to scalp these tickets and go to the opera or something.
I'm an archivist of all of his work, going way back
No, I
in
didn't
time.
know that.
Are you a big fan of Molly?
Yes, we're good friends.
Turn off my mic for 1 second. We're so glad you cleaned up.
And when lounge lizard Bill Murray opens the show, Drew isn't his only target.
Mrs. Zorro! Me and Kathy, Zeta. Is it Zeta or Zeta? Zeta Jones!
New memories are made and old favorites are recalled.
Dan Aykroyd, when he was first advertising the Bass-O-Matic,
Now adjust the control dial.
he would turn it on, and then he would drink the mixture, and then he would turn to the camera and go, "That's real bass."
Staying up really late past my bedtime to watch, oh no, Mr. Bill!
The court must come to order.
Even though I'm doing well now, I'm still bitter and angry. That's what I don't want to lose.
How many times have you heard "you look marvelous"?
That's the first time, actually.
I still look marvelous.
The return of Billy Crystal's Fernando is a huge hit. But there are also some bittersweet moments with salutes to cast members who are no longer with us.
You're all talk, Blondie. You want a piece of me? I'm right here.
Do you think they're kind of looking down on us right now and saying, "Hey, way to go, guys"?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Phil and Farley and Gilda and John Belushi are all going to be here tonight.
Spade knows what his friend Farley would want.
Honestly, it sounds stupid. If he was here, he wants it all to be fun and goofy.
And that it was. In New York, Sean Robinson, Access Hollywood.
Saturday Night Live is celebrating its 25th anniversary this coming weekend. No one has been more responsible for its success than Lorne Michaels, the show's creator and executive producer. Recently, I sat down with Michaels in Studio 8H, the home of Saturday Night Live for the last 25 years, to talk about some of the things that have made this show so unique, including the use of a guest host every week.
Now, when he was a young man, he never thought he'd see people stand in line.
The idea that there would be a different host every week was like some new problem to solve for the writers, in the sense that you're going to write a different show for Steve Martin than you're going to write for Elliot Gould or Buck Henry.
So is the main priority in choosing a guest host over these past 25 years promotability?
No.
Is it that this person's funny?
I think it's that they'll do a good show, or at least at worst it will be an interesting show.
Do you stop and think about the impact Saturday Night Live has had on television?
No.
Not at all?
I think anybody who's in comedy who talks seriously for more than 2 or 3 minutes and isn't funny probably shouldn't be listened to. So I think the work speaks for us, and I'm just more worried about the show not being embarrassing than I am anything else.
Now more of our look back at 25 years of Saturday Night Live. There are several reasons why the program has stuck around to become one of television's longest-running shows. For starters, there's its cutting-edge satire, and of course, the platoons of funny people it's introduced, its popular catchphrases, and the small planet of characters it's created, from the Coneheads to Wayne and Garth. Today, some of the best-known names reflect on why it's worked.
Woody Allen once said about comedy that it's either easy or impossible.
We would get so punchy. You know, you throw those tacks in the corkboard. You know, when you're trying to write, you throw pencils in the ceilings. We were throwing chairs at the corkboard.
Every week you have that opportunity to create a character that could catch on, or or write an amazing sketch. And if that week goes by and you don't come up with something, you kind of beat yourself up.
Just getting the show on the air was so hard that that was the main focus for everyone.
By the time we get out there on Saturday night, we have been through so many characters and so many changes and so much work.
You've rehearsed the scene maybe 4 times by the time it gets to air. And there's changes happening because it's live, you know, so you have to accommodate for, no one can predict how long someone's gonna laugh or if they're gonna laugh.
It's like jumping out of an airplane. And you've got this one shot to do it.
You don't know what they're gonna have you do. You don't know how it's gonna turn out. You're gonna do sketches and it's gonna go over or it's not gonna go over. And there's a thrill to it.
It's like diving into a cold pond or something. You know, you just go, okay, here goes nothing, and just...
It's not for the squeamish, I can tell you that, not for the faint of heart.
You just put yourself into the hands of everybody who does this show all the time, and they grab you, and they run you, and you do quick changes that are not possible.
This set's getting broken down, that one's getting moved over. There are people flying, there are makeup artists everywhere. Half of the cast is, you know, in semi-undress.
So they get you under the bleachers, they strip you down, they throw on this, put this on, put that on, and someone's doing stuff to your face, and someone's forcing rings on your fingers, and someone's got you in cowboy boots, and someone's tying a tie around you, and they're gluing this, and Joe Dixo, who's the greatest floor manager ever, is going, 30 seconds, need him, come on, I don't even have the wig on yet. 15, gotta go, and you learn the value of a second, you know, in live TV. I gotta walk with him. 10, 9, put the thing and they glue it down. And I went, wait, what do I look like? I never saw myself, you know? And they put a mirror up like this and I was Sammy.
Sammy Davis Jr.
If you're going to do an impression, they will give you a tape, and you watch the tape, you know, so you can watch their mannerisms and get their voice down and the dialect and all that.
Hey, I cut a deal with TWA. I do all the east-west flights.
You know, it beats seeing Joe versus the volcano.
Jay Leno is somebody I think everybody can do. So yeah, it's just, you talk like that, and you go down a little like that, you know, and they put a prosthetic chin on you, and you're Jay Leno.
Flintstones, meet the Flintstones. They're a hip Stone Age family.
That was the hardest voice to get, the Sinatra voice, because I realized my voice was as similar to his because we had that same North Jersey accent. And before I know it, I said, I can't get this voice. And then I started talking like myself a little bit, thinking about it a little bit, baby, and I got into a groovy, cuckoo thing, and I said, hey, this is the Frank voice right here.
You think I'm some minuscule manicotti midget, huh? Is that what I am?
I'm a huge fan of Pesci. So I'd instantly, did you see Pesci? Hey, what you doing? It just comes out, you know, like, hey, what you doing? Come over here. It's just, it's like imitating your friends.
Hey, excuse me.
It's almost inevitable that you're going to offend someone. If you don't offend somebody, you're really, in a way, not doing your job, if you're doing satire.
You don't really want to hurt somebody's feelings, but when somebody becomes public and they're in the public eye and everything, there's sort of fair game.
You're a dirty, dirty girl, and you had dirty, dirty sex with that dirty, dirty president.
No!
People might think, oh my God, that's so outrageous. And you're banking on the fact that it's no different in the world today in other areas where a month later it's forgotten.
Stop bears, stop bears, stop bears.
Just in for my new book entitled, I Want to Be a Hoe.
The absurdness. He was just absurd. Just a guy, a pimp that wrote a book, you know, how to hoe book. That's just so absurd. It's funny, you know.
You know, the other day, I took one of them meat thermometers. Yeah. And I just shoved it into my ear, you know, as far as it could go.
I said, Chris, maybe we should do those guys. You know, we do them in the elevator. We would do them just to shock people in the elevator.
No, I hate when that happens.
You know, we'd get in the elevator, 30 Rock, go down for lunch or whatever, and Chris would go, ow. I said, what's the matter? Gee, I got this big sore. I said, where? I said, how'd you get that? Oh, I took one of them, I go, tweezer? Yeah. I just dug it in, just started moving around. Jeez, I hate when I do that. And we would just do it for, you know, business guys looking around at us who didn't know us and so on. And then so we decided to do them.
The recurring characters were kind of insurance. If you could stumble on a character that people enjoyed, and it was a pretty good chance if it went well that it would come back.
Oh, this is too much. Wheel of Fortune. Give me a break. I couldn't be more excited, I must say.
Ed has this energy, and the energy played live, in a very live way. Sometimes you do characters and they're only can be truly realized when the audience looks at them on videotape or film. They'll look at the subtleties they'll accept and they'll enjoy. But if you did those same subtleties in a live performance, it would just bomb.
The extraordinary, deafening roar of silence. I often break when I'm bombing because it's so ridiculously embarrassing.
There can be a huge silence across America if something doesn't work.
I can feel the butts twitching in the seats in a sketch that's dying.
There's no excuse for doing bad shows, but it happens.
It's a little humiliating when the show's not good, and you know it's not good, you know. And you try to fix it, and then people start writing about it, you know. Invariably, you get the headline, Saturday Night Dead, you know. It's like they can't come up with anything more clever than that. I was glad they weren't writers on the show.
People are looking to the show for things to imitate, you know, and if there's something good and funny, they'll do it. That's what they want.
Pop, you are.
Yeah, that's it. Ticket. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Well, isn't that special?
You get a chance through repetition at times to know these characters and get to know the way they speak. And like a friendship, you make a bond with them.
Party on, Wayne.
Talk amongst yourselves. Okay, you look marvelous.
I get You Look Marvelous, I still, to this day, 15 years later, someone will, and they'll think it's the first time I heard it. That's, hey, you know what? You look marvelous. Thank you.
Me, I get people going, hey, man, it's, hey, yo, man, let me hear you do that. And they'll follow me for like a block. Just give me a little one, man. Just a little, man.
It's kind of been this barometer that everyone, at some point in their lives, have checked in to watch and see, and everyone owns a little bit of the show.
Anytime you heard somebody say Saturday Night Live, you felt like they were talking about your family.
It's like the Marine Corps, you know, it's being in the trenches.
What you do there, you can only get there.
The show is always, whether it hits or misses, it's always interesting to watch, and it's always worth it.
How many shows have they done? 1,000? How many shows have there been where it's still somebody looking in the camera and saying, live from New York, it's Saturday night, and you still get that thing.
Looking back on 25 years, do you have a favorite show, a favorite skit, a favorite joke?
No, I mean, I have memories of sort of moments, but they tend to be small. I kind of missed the big thing. I don't leave the studio going, what a great show. I tend to focus on the mistakes and getting it to time and the moments that didn't work. So occasionally when I see them, just watching them here today, I was like taking enormous pleasure in them and going, God, that was funny. But at the time, probably I'm too focused on something else.
You have said that the reason we go on at 11:30 is not because we're ready, it's because...
It's 11:30, yeah.
It's time to go.
And if we had an extra week, it wouldn't be that much better. You know, there's something about a blank page on the air in 6 days that just focuses everyone. And the fact that there's as much, that very often dress rehearsal is a disaster and we're making enormous cuts and moving everything around, people rise to the occasion. That's part of what the power of the show is, and I think it's also what toughens the cast and gives them the confidence that they can just about face anything. I think comedy, particularly comedy that's imitatable, is sort of, that it's pleasurable to do it.
That is such a different kind of comedy than Belushi, Aykroyd, Murray.
Yeah.
But it's one that your audience identifies with.
Well, I think that what was great about the fact that the show was live and that there was no pilot for it was that we all had just come from the audience. They were all most of the people on the show were people who, in a conventional audition or a sort of normal network process, would never have gotten on the air. And I think when the network tested the show at the very beginning in 1976, they came to the conclusion that the only person who would actually move on to a career in television was Jane Curtin, which turned out to be true. And I think that the cast were just too scruffy and they just didn't fit in. But they were really funny, and they were there was just an honesty and a vitality to them that was infectious.
Is it different for you programming for teenagers as
Right.
opposed to programming for your generation, the boomers?
Yeah, I think that the thing that happens now is you talk to a lot of people who were original fans of the show who now watch with their kids, and so the idea that, particularly when you're doing sort of material that's overtly sexual, which we've done without in a heartbeat. In the 70s, you suddenly go, oh right, so he's watching that with his 12-year-old daughter, but. That said, we still go on and do it. I think you have to just do the show the way you think it's best.
Have censors changed a lot? Is it more permissible now?
Yeah, I think it was more permissible. Almost everything that we did that got a big laugh in the 70s, we couldn't do now. I mean, anything to do with drugs, we obviously couldn't do now. Even things like Garrett Morris doing News for the Hard of Hearing, I don't think you could do now. There'd probably be a greater sensitivity. Uncle Roy, which we did. Which I noticed you didn't show, which we did with Buck Henry and Gilda and Lorraine.
Very politically correct.
Yeah, exactly.
After you had left Saturday Night Live for 5 years,
yep,
you came back.
Yes, I did.
Why?
At the time, Dick Ebersol had taken it over in 1981, and it had he built it back up, and by that point, in his last year, he'd done a kind of all-star cast. He had Marty Short, he had Billy Crystal, he had Chris Guest, Harry Shearer, Julia Louis-Dreyfus was in that cast. It was and I think he'd done what he wanted to do with the show, and he decided to leave. And Brandon Tartikoff, who I had hoped was going to cancel the show in 1980, now in 1985 decided that he was going to cancel the show. And he came to me, and I had been working with Steve Martin and Randy Newman. We were writing a movie called Three Amigos, which was just about to start shooting, and it turned out that it mattered more to me that it was going to be canceled than I thought.
It was your baby.
Yeah, yeah.
And you wanted to go back and grow it
Yeah.
through adolescence.
Yeah, exactly.
At the center of Saturday Night humor has always been politics.
Without question.
Let me show you a clip from the 1992 presidential debate. Bill Clinton, Ross Perot, and George Bush, according to Saturday Night Live and Lorne Michaels.
Okay.
Harvey.
Just brilliant. Yeah.
Now, when you approach something like that, is there anything off limits in your political debates, your political humor?
No, there's lots that's off limits. I mean, first of all, it has to work. It has to be funny. I think there's a point when whoever's doing the president takes on the kind of stature of the president. There were times when Dana would be doing Bush or Darrell Hammond now doing Clinton, where you watch them talking and you think, well, it's the president talking. And somehow they get in, when you see the president on the news, and he isn't as much like Dana as you'd thought, he seems diminished. I think Dana was...
See what you just said?
Well, I think with Dana was so commanding as the president, and got what I think we both liked and had a problem with Bush. I mean, it was and when Darrell does this as Clinton and gets his lip going, it takes you into the truth of Clinton.
How many writers do you have on Saturday Night Live?
We on any given season, there's probably between 15 and 20. But the people who write politics tend to be a smaller group. I think because the show started just after Watergate and the Vietnam War, politics was very important to the group of people who were first writing there, and people like Al Franken and Jim Downey who'd been were with the show for 20 years.
Was there a liberal edge, anti-establishment edge?
I think the politics varied a great deal. Personal politics varied a great deal. There were Republicans and there were Democrats. I think we were always accused of being liberal, but I think that stopped with the Persian Gulf War when we did the press conference with
turned on the press.
Yes, exactly.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah. I think that you go wherever the laugh is, and I think Republican presidents have generally been better for us than Democratic ones.
The fact is, Saturday Night Live really relies on writers.
Yes,
it's a writer's medium,
without question. Yeah,
and that's and
writers
you actually
and
line edit.
Yeah, but it is writers and performers, and they need each other. They don't necessarily like each other or agree, but you need that synthesis of it has to be written and so that there are ideas there, and at the same time a performer sometimes can take it off the page and find laughs that weren't there in the writing, and when it works at its best, it's a joy to behold.